So we'll try that again. Hello everyone and welcome to FF1. It's round number 7. We're at Brazil and there are a few things I do need to cover in this qualifying session. Maxi Luca has, I do believe, a 2-place grid penalty for after the race for his incident with Lickle at Japan, as he actually hit the wall coming out of the pits. So I hope he hasn't got any wing damage. And Louis W03 also has a 3-place grid penalty for time wasting at the end of last week's race in Japan by doing multiple donuts and just genuinely wasting my time and everyone else's time who had already finished the race. So with that now done, I can now briefly go over the table because Hellboy still can't be bothered to change the order. So in first place, I do believe Mohammed is our current leader on 108 points, and then I do believe Louis is in second on 77 points. So Mohammed has a 31-point lead already over Louis. So, you know, with Louis getting his grid penalty tonight as well, Mohammed could only extend his lead if he manages to pull off what he did last week at Japan. In third place, I actually think it's Jake in Ferrari, who actually can't be here tonight. So pretty unfortunate for him, but no doubt he'll be watching the race and seeing what unfolds. In fourth place, we then have I'm going to say Hellboy and a Ferrari as well. So both the Ferrari drivers doing very well in terms of constructors and driver standings. In fifth place, we then have, oh god, I think it's Lickle Blocks. So the other Toro Rosso there on 44 points. So quite a big gap to Hellboy and Lickle. So Lickle will no doubt be looking to close that gap to Hellboy and potentially catch the rest of the drivers. And yeah, so that's the top 5. I mean, I would do all the table, but again, it's not in order and I don't really want to mess it up. In terms of the constructors though, Mercedes are currently winning that on 143 points. So Mohammed and Memo putting in a very solid performance. And then we have the Ferrari boys in second, who last week did get team of the day. So not driver of the day, but team of the day. So congrats to them. And then we have Toro Rosso in third on 121 points, so it's very close at the top in terms of constructors. And then we have to go all the way down to Renault on 60 points in fourth place. So they've got some work to do if they want to be contested for the constructors. And then we have McLaren on 52 points, Red Bull on 45 points, Sauber next on 10 points, Force India on 1 point, and Williams have yet to score yet. So with all that done, there are a couple new drivers I need to go over as well who have just joined as well, as Louis goes off again, so he's going to want to pit now. But Dougie Antonio has joined. He's in the Sauber, so yeah, I know Dougie from other leagues. He's pretty quick and consistent, so very good addition to the league. We also have Bad Boy, who has returned. He left a couple races ago, but he's now back in the McLaren, and as we know, we saw him get a 2nd place in qualifying in Mexico, but unfortunately he retired. So no doubt he'll be looking for some redemption and to get his name on the board. But in terms of qualifying, we have Louis in first on a 18.8, so very good lap for him. Then we have the second Toro Rosso of Lickle Blocks with a 19.1, so both Toro Rossos here doing very well. And then we've got Mohammed in third. That's key for Louis. Louis needs to stay ahead of his championship rival here. He's done a 19.3. And then we have Dougie debutant here and 19.5, so very good lap from Dougie there. Then we have Barry in 5th with a 19.7. And then Lio actually 110.1. Obviously we know he's on no assist. I know he doesn't really play the game as much, so he's obviously not going to be as dominant as he was on previous games. So yeah, he's actually doing quite well so far in 6th place. And we have Memo, the other Mercedes, on a 114.1, so I'm guessing he must have messed up, as Hellboy in 8th with a 116.7. And then Max a 121.9. He must have messed up as well. And Bad Boy, I do believe, got both laps invalidated, and I think Mark hasn't been out of the pitch yet. Let me just quickly check that. Oh no, he did come out but went back in. Bad Boy got his lap invalidated, but he did set a 19.8, so that would have put him 6th. So yeah, so Mark's looking quite good, but I mean, I know we've only got 11 races again, but obviously people aren't here. You've got the likes of Jake Bugatti. We've had sort of reshuffle off the grid, and we're trying to get drivers in and trying to sort out a competitive grid. But for the meantime, we've got just under 6 minutes left now with Louis still on pole. This is sort of part of qualifying where it gets a bit boring because everyone's in the pits. Sort of they've done their first runs, and I now have to sit here and try and talk. I am going to quickly get the chat up on my phone, so those that have typed in the chat, give me a minute and I'll get that up for you. Let's just see if, there we go, there it is. So we have, oh yeah, Bad Boy, obviously, yep, hello if you've rejoined, welcome back. Edward said hello, and then we have Lio said, yep, I'm still shit. Pretty much, mate, but it's them assists, mate. You need to just go back to medium, you know, you'll be fine. But fair play to the guy, he's still going out with no assists. But anyway, we have Max on an outlap, so no doubt he's going to be looking to do 2 runs. And then we have Mark on an outlap as well, who looks like he's going to be doing 2 runs. And Memo now out again, going to try and do 2 runs. He needs good laps here if he wants to help his teammate Mohammed in the fight with the Toro Rossos. And don't forget Hellboy as well. I said last week at Japan that Hellboy's, you know, could have got a good result when he did from last place. So, you know, he's always going to be one to watch out for. As we see Memo on his outlap, as Max has come back into the pits, so he's not happy with something. And let's go on board with Mark, who I do believe has got invalid as he's going really slow. So we will come out of Mark. Let's go on board with Memo now. Let's go on board with him for a lap around Brazil. No one else is out, so this is a perfect chance to see how a lap around Brazil is meant to be done. And he's in lean, and he's coming into the pits as well, so I don't know what drivers are doing. Quite difficult, because obviously for me now I have to sort of talk. But let's go on board with Hellboy, who has just come out of the pits. Let's see if there's anyone close. So we've got Mark there, Bad Boy on an outlap, Hellboy's obviously on an outlap, Louis, oh that's Lickle, sorry, coming out of the pits. So these guys are going to want to do 2 runs. So Louis still with pole with a 1.8.8, we want to say 1.8.9, is 8.99, so he's got about a 2/10 advantage over his teammate, but more importantly he's got about 4/10 over his main rival Mohammed. So you know that Mohammed's got more in the tank. We will soon find out in the next 3 minutes whether he can deliver a good lap. But for the meantime, I think Hellboy's just coming to start his lap, I do believe. Yes, he's in max, so we will stay on board with Hellboy. Let's just quickly hide all that so we get a really good view of his lap and see what he can do. Obviously league owner, so no pressure Hellboy. Let's see what he can do as he comes across the line to start his lap. Comes into turn 1 now. Sort of complex of corners you need to nail, and he does, but that is invalid. Do apologise for that, someone coming in my room. But yeah, Hellboy got invalid, so we'll try to find someone else who is on a lap. I do believe Lio is about to start his lap, so let's go on board with Lio. Let's see what his pace is actually like. Coming into turn 1 now. Taking a very wide line into turn 1, not really catching none of the curbs. Shifting down and losing the back end there, so it's that no TC where he's struggling, as you can see. Let's see if he's up on his time, I doubt it, but we'll soon find out, and I don't think he actually is. Let's quickly check his sector times, and yeah, he's down by 2/10, so that little slide has cost him there. Let's move on to someone else. I do believe, oh, Barry spun. Where's that? That's sector 3, that is, before the start finish. So Barry will have time, if he can get the car going, he will have time to cross the line and maybe even go for another lap, so he'll try. But we've got Dougie starting a lap, I don't know. So we'll soon see where Dougie, if he does improve. All he needs is 2 attempts to improve. Let's hope he can improve, and does he? I do believe he just started his lap now, so we'll see where he finishes. But we've got Mohammed now, championship leader. Let's stay with Mohammed to see what he can do. Obviously, this track is very hard on track limits, as you saw with Mohammed just saying. I think he did get invalid, so that's unfortunate for him. I seem to be spectating people get invalid. Let's go with Louis, who, as we know, is very quick as well. As he comes to the last corner, gets a really good exit up the hill now to come round and start his flying lap. Let's hide all this. Let's see what a lap round Brazil actually looks like. I know Louis is... Did he improve? Yeah, he did improve, so I've actually missed his lap. Let's see if he carries on for another lap. He's got enough fuel to. Let's see if he does. If I know Louis, he will be pushing as much as he can because he knows Mohammed is very quick, being the championship leader. But let's see if he's up on his time, and he is up on his time. So let's hide all this. Let's see what a lap round Brazil looks like as Louis W03 comes into the second sector now. The sort of sector where you need wings. I feel if you don't have high wings, you're going to lose a lot of time. It's a little bit understeered, and I think that's invalid. I'm not sure. I don't think it is. He's still going, so I don't think it's invalid. So we're going to stay on board with Louis then, and let's just put this up, see where everyone finishes. I see Barry and Lio actually got up to 6th place, so Lio actually put on a very good lap at the end there. So let's see if Louis is up on his time. He is up on his time, so Louis looking to improve more as we come now into the 3rd sector. All he's got to do now is just up the hill, navigate through this very fast corner. As he comes across the line, what does he set? He sets a 1:08.5. That is a very good lap from Louis, but we now go to his teammate Lickle, who is the last person to set a lap. He's up on his time, but not enough to beat his teammate at the moment. Let's see what he can do as he comes to the start finish. Does he improve? He does, a 1:9 flat, but it's just not enough, and Louis gets pole by half a second. So congrats to him. Actually a 1-2 for Toro Rosso there, so Toro Rosso team looking very strong already. But obviously Hellboy getting 3rd, so very good for him in the fight for constructors. Bad Boy on his return in 4th, so fair play. Mohammed down in 5th place. That's going to hurt Mohammed. Max all the way down in 6th, and then we've got Lio, who I feel did a really good lap. So well done to Lio for getting 7th, and then we have Barry in 8th, Dougie in 9th. I don't think, did he improve? Let's just have a quick look before it shuts us off. He did, but it was invalid. A 1:9 flat, so that would put him up with Lickle. That's unfortunate for Dougie, but looking at that, he knows he's got the pace to run with the top 3, so no doubt Dougie will know that and know to... oh, we've actually got a wet race. Wow. That's interesting. So we've actually got a wet race here, so I don't know whether some people might have been running wet setups. So if I know a couple of people on the grid, I know a few people were, so we're going to see what happens in this race. So I don't know what strategy. I don't know whether it's going to stay wet all race or whether it's going to dry or not. I don't know. We will soon find out as we go lights out in just over 10 seconds. So Louis on pole by half a second. I feel like some people were running wet setups, and Lio just says, oh for fuck's sake, he's screwed. He does good quality, now it's raining. But I do believe it is formation up, it is, so we will quickly run through the order again. So it is a Toro Rosso 1-2 with Louis taking pole by half a second from his teammate Little Blocks in 3rd, and then we have Hellboy with a good showing in 3rd place, so doing a very good job in fight for constructors. Then we have Bad Boy on his return in 4th, so fair play to Bad Boy, sorry. Then we have championship leader down in 5th place. Not a good outing from Mohammed in qualifying, but I feel that he would have been running a wet setup or a higher wing than everybody else, because he's never off the pace this much, never. Well, maybe in 1 or 2 races, but in the wet he seems to be very good, so we'll soon see. Max, for a fact I know, would have been running the wet setup. He's the type of guy to risk it all in quali just to have that setup in the rain. So let's see if he can make use of that setup. Lio in 7th, who again had a very good quali. but obviously with it being wet and him on no assist, as you can see, he's sliding on the formation lap, so he's no doubt going to lose places off the line. But you never know, he's not, you know, the worst racer. He might, you know, be able to get to grips with it quite quickly, so this formation lap to him is sort of a tester to see where he can put the power down, where he can't, and obviously with no OBS as well, it's quite hard. Then we have Barry in 8th, who in the PlayStation chat said Memo didn't show him any respect. So I'm guessing that spin that he had was maybe to do with Memo. Then we have Dougie in 9th, who, as we saw by his invalidated time, can run with Little and Hellboy, and even Louis, I reckon, to a point. So Dougie will be looking to run with them. And then we have Memo in 10th, and then Mark in 11th, who already plays the game. But Memo in 10th, not very good from him, but we'll go back to the front of the grid as we get ready for lights out. Person to watch, I'm going to say Hellboy. If he gets a good start, he'll no doubt go down the inside of either Lickle or even Louis, so we will keep an eye on him and Lickle as we go to lights out with 5 red lights, and we're away for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Looks like Louis actually got a really good start, but look at Bad Boy on Hellboy, as Edward looks like he's going to go down the inside of his teammate. Bad Boy and Hellboy, they touch, but it all looks relatively clean from behind, so fair play everyone, as Lickle looks like he's terrorising the back of his teammate Louis. So we'll go on board with Lickle then, but it looks like Louis running lower wings, so he won't get the move done. Oh, and there's a bit of wing damage there. Let's see what's happened there, as Lio actually moved up places, up into 9th, as he's got Mark and Memo behind. So Memo's actually lost places off the line, but it's Barry going down the inside of Dougie, and now he had a little bit of a think on Max, but Dougie gives him the space. I know Dougie's very respectful in terms of giving people space for fair play, but Dougie looks like he's going to go back around the outside. Can he make it stick? If he does, it'll be a great move, and I think he has. Could get on board with Dougie, and I don't think he just hasn't got the traction to, but very good there. As you see a Mercedes there, that's actually Mohammed on Bad Boy, so Mohammed looking to go around the outside of Bad Boy. Very hard corner to do it, and he slides off the track, and he's going to lose a place to Max now. So Max gaining a position there, and maybe another McLaren or Barry there, but couldn't. So Max now up into 5th place, so Max will have to work his way back up now, as I said in quali, him and Louis do have a place penalty which will take place after the race. So regardless of how far ahead they finish the people, they will lose positions anyways. Max looks like he's about to make a move on Bad Boy, goes down the inside of Bad Boy, thinks better of it maybe, gets the back end out, but gets a very good exit, but just can't make most of it, especially around Brazil. Look, it's back end everywhere, and oh, Mohammed almost got caught up there. Max trying to catch the car, but Max is looking very racy here at Brazil, as he's going to go down the inside of Bad Boy. Oh, clips the wheel under braking. I don't know if a Bad Boy felt that or not, but Max has got the move done on Bad Boy. But Bad Boy, oh, he's off the track. Where is Bad Boy? There he is, he's back on track now, and Dougie's just biding his time now. I feel he was waiting for a serious collision between these 4 ahead, who, as we know, isn't. Ooh, and I do believe that was Barry going down the inside of our championship leader, so the audacity from Barry here is very good, and we've got the 2 McLarens of Barry and Bad Boy now. And Dougie, oh, looks like he's been sold out to dry there by Bad Boy. Dougie will not like that, as Dougie looks like he just don't know what to do. It's just so tight and compact. But we will move from this battle and go back up to Hellboy, who looks like he's behind Lickle by half a second, and Louis actually got a second lead already, but as we know, he will be dropping places. So at the moment, Lickle is basically winning this race, and Hellboy is in 2nd place. But Hellboy, it looks like he's very close to Lickle now, as we will go on board with Hellboy and see if we can gain on Lickle. Back end kicking out there, but so does Lickle's. But Louis, I mean, you look at Louis and his car seems fine, but Lickle did catch a little bit there, so let's see whether he can continue to catch. And Hellboy's actually gained time there as well. Max has now get away from Mohammed in 5th, which is surprising to see, but Mohammed, as you can see, locking the front tyres there, and I do believe he's actually on no traction as well, so maybe that's why he's off the pace a little bit. But Louis is not going to complain with Mohammed down in 5th. Then we have Barry, Bad Boy and Dougie on his debut. Looks like he's paused the game, so I don't know whether he's maybe gone to do something unexpectedly or whatever. But there's actually a yellow in sector 2. Who is that? I can't see who it is. I think it is it Mark? Yeah, no, it's Lio. Lio's off. So I do believe he's just binned it with obviously no traction. So that's very unfortunate of him. That does promote Mark into the points, and yeah, yeah, I think he just binned it. So that's unfortunate of him. But Mark's off the track as well. So Mark will no doubt retire in a minute, and there we go. Maybe in the next couple of seconds Mark will retire as well, and there's still yellows in sector 2. As we are on lap 4 now, Nichols actually keeping tabs on his teammate here, so we could see a fight for the lead, preferably under pit stops, but I don't know what the weather is in this race. I have no idea, so it could be getting drier, it could not, no idea. But Hellboy doing a very solid job in 3rd place, and there's, yeah, Mark's out. I did say he would retire, and yeah, he's binned it. Yeah, so it's you know, it's not good. Obviously low, yeah, fair play, but Mark, there was no need. You could have carried on and got a point. There's no need. But this battle between the two McLarens is starting to heat up a little bit, as we have Bad Boy behind Barry by not even half a second, so we'll go on board. And Barry's very slidey. I do believe Barry's on no assist as well, so no assist users are going to struggle in these conditions, because they would have done practice in the dry or even none at all. So as Bad Boy goes wide as well. So I do believe Dougie is playing again. He is, so whatever Dougie's gone to do, he's obviously back. So yeah, so that's good to see. And Hellboy's actually lost a lot of time behind Lickle. But again, Lickle's keeping tabs on Louis, who actually like he's actually catching a little bit. So fair play to Lickle. He's actually got the pace in the intermediate conditions, and he's getting the better of his teammate at the minute. But Hellboy is dropping time, and Max is catching, but Max with the back end, and Mohammed is right behind Max, and Max is getting very slidey. This is going to allow Mohammed. Does he go for it? Ooh, clips Max a little bit, but backs out and loses a lot of time. But he's got a just under 3-second buffer to Barry behind. The Bad Boy is sort of being dropped as well. So the main fight is between Mohammed and Max at the minute. But I will be keeping an eye on the gap between Lickle and Louis. Yeah, so yeah, Lyle said he called it there. Just didn't really fancy going around in the wet, which is fair enough. Obviously, no practice on no assist in the wet is hell anyway, not let alone with no OBS. So fair play, man. You've done very well in qualifying though. Nice to see you finding your feet in the dry anyway. But yeah, as Lowe leaves the session. So yeah, so unfortunate for him. Obviously, if it was dry, then yeah, he would have stayed, and I reckon he could have got a top 5 today. But yeah, there's a throw. That's Hellboy sliding. He's got to be careful, because if it does get dry, which at the moment it doesn't look like it is, but Hellboy's got to be careful on them tyres. One little mistake and he's off and in the grass. But Mohammed is now right behind Max, but just loses time again. So I don't know whether he might have clipped Max again and just lost time. I don't know, but it looks like he's actually lagging a little bit. But Max being very wise to Mohammed and defending the inside line. This is going to allow Mohammed to get a better run initially, but then Max gets it back on exit, as you can see here. But Mohammed looks like he's actually got a semi-decent run here. Let's stay on board with Mohammed and see if we can make the move on Max. I don't think he's quite close enough, so I'm going to stay behind for one more lap and hopefully make the move stick. As you can see, he's sort of lagging a little bit, so Max will know that. Being in front, he'll be looking back, seeing that, so he'll be trying his best not to let Mohammed pass. As Hellboy is actually, looks like these three are starting to sort of catch up to each other. So we could actually have a very interesting fight for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. So let's see how this fight transpires in the future of this race. I don't know whether it's going to get dry or whether it's going to stay wet. By what Lio said, I'm going to guess that it's staying wet the whole race. So by that, I'm going to say people are going to be doing a 1-stop maybe. If it does say inters, that is. Obviously inters to inters. As the gap between Lickle and Louis sort of staying at 1.1, 1.4 seconds, so you know they're both matching each other, which is, you know, good to see in the team. But obviously Lickle needs just that little bit extra speed as his back end gets very, very squirmy on exit. You can see here he's sort of fighting the car as he's now coming into the end of the 1st sector, and Hellboy behind is actually losing time. So whatever Lickle's doing is actually gaining time on his teammate and getting away from Hellboy. So whatever, just keep it up. As we see, Memo trying to find his feet as he's now behind Bad Boy. Looks to be catching him ever so slightly, but the main battle on track is between Mohammed and Max, and Max gets very slightly. Mohammed's going to go for it. They touch. Ooh, Max has got the inside though. Max will stay down the inside, and Bad Boy picks up a 3-second penalty. But these two are still side by side, so very good battling between these two here. Max goes for the wider line, and I feel like Max will get a better run, and I think he does, but Mohammed is still there. But I think Max has just got the position I think he has. So brilliant defending from Max, and also very good racing from both of these guys to allow each other the space to go side by side the way they did. Very good racing, and this is what I wanted to commentate, you know, because first couple rounds I saw very good racing, and I felt like it needed to be shown. And it has, with obviously Mohammed and Max. So fair play to them, very good racing. Let's hope they can continue this interesting battle. But the gap between, sort of extending now between the front three. 1.8 to Louis and Lickle, and then 1.7 to Lickle and Hellboy. But I know Hellboy, he won't mind too much, with obviously Louis' penalty and then Max's penalty as well. He's basically P2 at the minute, so all he has to do is just fight back and try and overtake Lickle. But as you can see, Louis starting to put the foot down now, as he's actually in lean. So I don't know what he's doing, whether he's just saving tyres, but he's in lean and getting away from Lickle. So yeah, that's very good from Louis. Obviously very quick driver, I know from other leagues as well. So yeah, it's just good to see. But you can see Louis not really fighting the car that much. You can see he's sort of cutting the steering a little bit, but not as much as you see from Lickle and Hellboy. So I don't know, Louis doing a very good job here. 2.5 now the gap, and Hellboy looks like he's actually catching Lickle, so maybe Hellboy's got to grips with the conditions and can now push him. Memo looks like he's got past Bad Boy. Whether Bad Boy made a mistake, I don't know, I missed it, I do apologise. But Mohammed just can't get back onto Max, and the gap now just over a second. So Max is again finding his feet. I feel like he has now, as Bad Boy decides to pit, and I think it has actually stopped raining now. Bad Boy gets a 5-second stop go. That's going to affect him the next time he pits. If he doesn't pit and ignores it, then it will be a 10-second penalty at the end of the race. But yeah, he goes on to mediums, I do believe. So Bad Boy will come out on the medium, so we'll keep an eye on his lap time, see if he does catch the guy's head. But Mohammed is starting to catch Max again, and Hellboy actually starting to catch Lickle now. So I don't know what's going to happen with the pit stop between these two, because obviously them being, I do believe that was Bad Boy. Wait, how's he out there? Bad Boy was just in the pits, but now he's out of the pits. Okay, well, whatever. So I don't know what's going to happen with these guys, the two Toro Rosso boys. So whether Louis will get, obviously Louis will get first dibs on pit stops, but this could actually help Hellboy out a lot. If these two both pit at the same time, then obviously they'll double stack. So Hellboy will gain a lot of time, and Hellboy and Lickle should be quite close on track, and it looks like both of these guys. And Louis gets a 5-second stop go. That is crucial. That's not good for Louis, and Max does as well. So we're seeing these guys not navigate the pit lane very well. Hellboy and Lickle being the only one. Hellboy goes onto a set of softs, so he's now come out of the pits, and I do believe he has jumped Lickle, and Bad Boy has retired. So yeah, Bad Boy called it there. I think he went off the grass and called it. But Max has actually got out ahead of Lickle, and Lickle gets very squirmy on the exit, but Barry decides to stay out as Louis rejoins him. Dougie is net. Well, Dougie hasn't pitted either, so whether Dougie feels he's not timed yet, I don't know. We'll soon find out whether Louis gets... Yeah, he's gaining a lot of time. So yeah, it's time. Dougie knows. So Hellboy is net P2 now with Max net P3, but he's got Lickle all over the back of him. So if these guys will have to pit again. Both Louis and Max, the guys with the penalties at the end of the race, will have to serve an extra 5. But Lickle's going down the inside, but Max again better of it. We've seen very good defensive driving from Max here. We'll go to broadcast cam so we can catch a very good angle of these two battling. Now these two had a very interesting battle at Japan, in which Max got his penalty for, I do believe. So these two are going to be very, very I feel like these two are going to be very feisty with each other. So, you know, we'll see what happens here. But Hellboy is right behind Dougie now, and actually Hellboy going round the outside. No, he ain't. So Dougie's just deciding to pits. Now that puts Hellboy into net P2. But watch this battle with Lickle and Max. Max goes, looks like he's going to go defensive. Lickle thinks better of it, but Max goes defensive, and he's actually played Max well there, so that's actually allowed him to close the gap and get right behind Max, and Max gets a 3-second penalty. So this race is heating up here between these two especially, but Lickle not really getting the best exit there. Max is able to sort of breathe a sigh of relief, but it looks like Max is running higher wings, so we should see Max run off into distance a bit into the second sector. But after the pit stops we have Louis leading, but has that 5-second stop go, so Hellboy will be, I don't think Hellboy will know about that, so he'll try and close the gap, but Louis will be one to push or even try and go to the end, but he will have a 10-second penalty if he doesn't take that 5-second stop go, so he will lose out majorly if he does have to pit again. But Hellboy keeping tabs at the moment on Louis, 4.8, the gap 4.9 now, so I reckon Louis just sort of pull it in rich. I do, yeah, he's now, yeah, he knows he needs to push, and yeah, he's pushing now, so yeah, which is fair enough. I would do the same if I was him, as Louis sets the first lap of the race. But go back to this battle between Max and Lickle, and as I said, Lickle closing the gap on Max, who last week had a little bit of an incident between, well, at Japan, and it's actually got Max's penalty for today, which I know he was very unhappy about. Lickle picks up a penalty, but Max gets a very bad run. Lickle all on the curbs. He has to be very careful here. If he wants to catch Max and go for an overtake, he needs to be careful, as does Max. Hello Hammer Time, I see you in the chat there. Welcome to the stream, hope you enjoy the racing here. So we're on lap 12 out of 36, Louis still leads, Hellboy 5.1 to gap. So Hellboy needs to start thinking about trying to keep with Louis here, and Max needs to not really focus on front but focus behind in Lickle blocks, who is sort of all over his rear in the second sector. But you'll just see Max in a minute just get a really good exit, and that's all he needs to keep ahead. Yeah man, it's really good. I was a racer, but I wanted to catch the battles on stream, so I decided to become a commentator. Max gets very, very slidey. Mark, come on. So this battle between Max and Lickle was heating up, as Louis now is in rich, as he has a 5-second stop go. Next time he pits, Lickle will have DRS. Can he make the move on Max into turn 1? We'll soon find out. Max goes defensive, no he doesn't, and Lickle just can't get close enough. So I don't know whether Max is running very low wings or high wings, I don't know, but Lickle looks like he's close now, and Barry actually sets fastest lap of the race. No Mark, I'm sorry. And Dougie actually sets fastest lap, so don't count Dougie out. You know, he's very quick, and on his day, you know, he can fight for podiums. And obviously I feel like today's, you know, he was sort of last minute entry into the league, so you know, I'm not really going to count Dougie as, you know, bottling, because as I said, he was sort of like an hour ago, he just got added into the league. So yeah, so again this battle between Max and Lickle starting to heat up again, and Max goes very squirmy on exit. That's where Max was gaining this time, but now Lickle's actually got a better exit. We will see a battle potentially between these two, which in Japan didn't end well. It ended with Lickle going on the grass and later on spinning and tearing his ring off, but Lickle actually looks like he's got a much better exit than Max. What can Lickle do? Can he make the move on Max? He puts it up into Rich. Can he make the move? He's closing, it's going to be very close. I thought he's going to go for it anyway. He does. Down the inside goes Lickle. Max gives him the space, which he's entitled to do so, but can't get the move done. Max defending very good here. I haven't really seen Max defend, but now I'm seeing how good he is at defending, and Max covers off the inside. Lickle will want to swoop round the outside. He does, but I feel like Max has covered it off again, and he has. So Max showing some very brilliant defending here against Mohammed on the inters, and now against Lickle on the softs. So Max is proving very hard to get past, and Lickle will start to get frustrated, and you can see he's lucky not to get wing damage there. He came very close to slamming into the back of Max, and you can see the frustration now when Lickle's driving. He's getting very frustrated behind that Force India of Maxi Luca. So this battle between these two just heating up and getting more and more intense. It's very good to see because it, you know, gives me something to commentate on. So, you know, I'm not going to complain. So we go for round 2 then of Lickle on Maxi. Can Lickle get the run he needs to get past Max and potentially move himself up into third place, so into a podium position? So Max goes defensive. Will Lickle go for it? If he wants to go for it, he'll have to go around the outside, and Max again defends, but Lickle, oh, bit of a switchback, but again Max defends it, and you've got to say he sort of done the right thing there, sort of gave Lickle, you know, no room, and you know, at that point of the track you've got to do that to turn in. So fair play, but Lickle looks like he's going to go around the outside, runs him off. So again, Max doing very well in defending, so Lickle will start to get frustrated now. He's actually used up all his fuel, so he's in lean. So no doubt he's in lean for the second sector, and we'll go into rich on the start finish straight to try and again get past Max. But Max been looking very, look, Max, oh, Max goes wide. Oh, Max has gone AI. I think his wheel might have died, or his controller or whatever, I don't know what he's on, but he's going to lose a place to Mohammed, so Mohammed will move up into 4th place. That's unfortunate for Max. Oh, Max is back now. Ooh, so now Max has got a 2.1 second lead, well, deficit to catch up to Lickle. Lickle will not be complaining about that as Louis continues to put the foot down and get a 7.2 gap to Hellboy, who hasn't really made any inroads into Louis. So for someone who says they're quicker than me, you'd expect them to make some inroads. But anyway, moving on, we have Lickle now in 3rd place. Max will now be on the charge. He has the fuel to, so let's see what Max can do, whether he can close the gap to Lickle, who hasn't actually got that much fuel. He's actually on even, so he will have to think about his fuel in the next couple laps, but Max can afford to burn it, which he's actually not doing. So it's interesting to see whether Max will be able to catch up to Lickle, but I'm actually surprised at Hellboy's pace, to be honest. I thought he'd at least make some inroads to Louis, but you know, he's just not a match for Louis, and Louis, obviously with his 5 second stop go next time he pits, these two should be very close on track when, or if they have to pit again, as Louis continues to set fastest lap after fastest lap. He's putting his foot down. He knows he needs to get a gap, and he's doing so expertly. You've got to say, who is dropping Hellboy at a rate of knots at this point. So Hellboy not looking very fast around him. Hellboy picks up a 3-second penalty. So again, favour goes to Louis at this point. But we go to Lickle, who actually isn't making any inroads on Hellboy, but Max isn't making any inroads on Lickle either, so that was very interesting to see. So Max, if he wants to make the move on Lickle, he will need to put the foot down, use some of that fuel, mate, put it in rich. Just put the foot down. 2.4 now the gap. Max will know, Max will be pissed at that. I know Max, he will, because that's now put Mohammed on the back of him again. We saw how Max defended against Mohammed earlier, and it was very good, as with Lickle. So whoever gets past Max today, it will be a very good overtake, so we'll keep an eye on that. But for the meantime, it's sort of killed downstream a little bit. Obviously Louis continuing to breeze past Hellboy, and Hellboy just hasn't got an answer for him, so you know, very poor showing. But he's in 2nd place, so he's having a really good race, and with the penalty Louis is going to get, Hellboy will effectively win this race. So yeah, I mean, what's there to commentate on? I mean, you've got Mohammed closing the gap, and actually Dougie is setting fastest lap. So, you know, as I said about Dougie, he's very quick, and he's actually got the fuel to burn. So watch out for that gap between Dougie and Barry. 6 seconds now. Give it a couple laps, I reckon that gap will come down. But we go back to Mohammed now, who is not even a second behind Max. and Max just can't seem to catch Lickle. These both are doing the same lap times. So yeah, I mean, Lickle doing a very good job in terms of keeping Max at bay at 2.5 seconds, and it looks like he's actually catching Hellboy. So again, Hellboy not really showing pace, which, you know, for someone who proclaims, you know, to have pace, you'd feel he'd be doing a good job trying to, you know, you'd at least put in a few fastest laps at least, and he's just not doing that. So quite disappointed in Hellboy's pace today, but he's in second place, so he ain't gonna complain. I wouldn't complain either at this point. But Lickle is closing that gap, and Max has actually closed that gap a little bit to Lickle. So I'll keep an eye on that, but Mohammed still continues to stay behind Max, and he will get the DRS on Max, but just nowhere near close enough to even think about making a move. So we go back, and the gap now 9 seconds between Hellboy and Louis. Louis at the moment will retake the lead even with a 5-second stop go. So Louis showing some superb form today. Been on it ever since lights out, and no one just hasn't really touched him. The only person to get near him was his teammate at the start, and that was Lickle. But obviously Lickle having that 5-second stop go as well, you've got to feel that that will promote Max. And Louis sets another fastest lap, so Louis proper putting the foot down, and he's now back into lean. So whether he's thinking about going to the end, I don't know, but if he does, then he'll have a tasty 10-second penalty to contend with. So, you know, if I was him, I don't know what I'd do, but I know obviously Hellboy will not complain. Lickle doing a very solid job, and he's actually catching Hellboy at a rate of knots here. So Hellboy really not on the pace in these conditions. Max as well, sort of lapping same pace as Lickle now, as Mohammed's starting to get dropped by Max, and Barry now 4 seconds, and that gap between Barry and Dougie hasn't really come down a lot. So yeah, Barry actually lapping really well here, and you can see him chucking the car in. You can see how much commitment he's got in that McLaren. So he's fighting, he wants to catch Mohammed, the championship leader, and have a battle. But now Max is starting to close the gap to Lickle, 2 seconds now, 2.1. So again, we'll keep an eye on that gap. But Louis again storming away into the distance, but with that 5-second penalty it could close things up a little bit. So we are in for an interesting end here at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and again with Lickle getting one as well, and I think Max has one as well. Again, this is going to put Mohammed and Barry in contention, and Barry gets a 5-second stop go. That's unfortunate for him, as Mohammed makes another pit stop. So this should be, oh, it's a front wing change as well. So maybe that's why Mohammed has been off the pace. That will now promote Dougie up into 5th place. So Dougie having a very good outing here in his debut race for FF1. Very good to see from Dougie here, as you know, he not even an hour ago didn't even know who was going to be racing. So, you know, fair play to him for coming up and being in 5th place at the minute. Mimo on the super softs. Let's just quickly see. Oh no, he's on the mediums. Okay, so Mimo might go to the end from here, so if he does, he could be one to watch out for in the later half of this race. But the gap between Hellboy and Louis, 11 seconds now. Louis sets another fastest lap, so Louis doing very, very well here. Hellboy just no reply. I don't think Hellboy's going to be complaining, but Lickle now the gap 2.9, and the gap between Hellboy and Lickle, oh no, not sorry, Lickle and Max 2.2. So Max is doing a solid job as well, keeping with Lickle, and Hellboy gets another 3-second penalty, so he's trying to push. But even though he's pushing, it's just not enough. He's not quick enough, and Louis actually gained a lot of time there on Hellboy. So I don't know what's going to happen, especially with that 5-second stop go. Could be very close between these two as they come out the pits. But if you look behind Max, 11 seconds back is Dougie in 5th. Mimo a further 10 seconds back, and Mohammed picks up a penalty now. So now he's on them press stops. He can push because effectively he's got the undercut on the guys ahead of him, so he should close the gap a little bit. As we see, Barry now on the back of Mimo. So this is an interesting battle for sure. Mimo and Barry. Oh, Barry gets another 3-second penalty. Look like he went to go down the inside of him. And he's going to go down the inside here. What a move. He makes it stick around the outside. But Mimo defends it expertly. But just pushes Barry wide there. So again, Barry not really being shown the respect he needs. Because, you know, he was there. And obviously off the track it's grass. So Barry's got to be careful now on his tyres. I know Barry, he'll be very, very stressed at that. And will want to get past. So we will go on board with Barry as they come up the hill to complete lap 23. Barry will have the DRS. Let's see if he can make the move on Mimo, who gets very close. Mimo getting very, very defensive, but Barry able to go down his inside into turn 1. And as easy as that, Barry makes the move finally on Mimo, and now Barry can go after Dougie, who hasn't pit yet. As we saw, Mohammed set the fastest lap with a 1:11, I do believe, but now he's coming to the back of his teammates, so whether these two talk or even communicate is still a mystery. So we will find out whether Mimo will let his teammate pass, but the gap between Lickle and Max still staying at 2 seconds. So at this point in the race I think I'm going to get a drink and then I'll be back in a minute. So we're back, and as you saw before I left, you saw Max get another 5-second stop go, and Hellboy and Lickle gets a 5-second stop go now. So we're seeing a lot of guys not being able to manoeuvre the pit lane here at Brazil. Very unfortunate to see, but this will help Hellboy now as he comes out of the pits. Where will he come out? Where's Dougie actually? Because Dougie could be a main threat here, and it's going to be very close between Hellboy and Dougie. So we'll stay on board with Hellboy to see where he comes out in relation to Dougie, and Dougie looks like he's going to come out ahead. Has he? He has. So Dougie now effectively P2 in this race, but I don't think he can go to the end on them tyres. They don't look worn. Oh no, in fact they do look quite worn, so maybe Dougie may be stretching them up for a set of supers. But Max now making a move on Mohammed. They touch, they still touch, but it looks like Max has got the move done. No, they're still side by side. Max is going to go down inside in the fast right hander and gets the move done. So impressive overtake from that Max there, but Mohammed coming back at him. Max closing the door, which is rightly so, and Max gets a position on Mohammed. So now Max is on a charge on them superstocks, and our race leader Dougie Louis has pit, but Hellboy right behind Dougie now, so you can expect maybe Dougie to even pit this lap, and I do believe he is. So that is now released Hellboy. Where's Louis in relation to Hellboy? And Louis has absolutely smashed it in terms of the stop go as well, so Hellboy will not be very happy with that, but he's now got to start looking behind him, and Lickle picks up another 3-second penalty. So we're seeing a lot of pens here, and Max has just, no, he hasn't made a move, sorry, so he's still after the back of Barry, who's pitted and in 4th place. So Barry doing very well here in terms of pit stop, and now Lickle knows effectively this is for the win, because don't forget Louis has that not time penalty, place penalty after the race. So although Louis looks like he's got to win he won't. He will be dropped down a couple, I think it's 3 positions, so it's unfortunate for him, but don't waste time, you know? That's what you get when you waste time here. So Hellboy is effectively our race winner, or leader at the minute. Lickle is effectively in P2 and will know that. So he knows he has to catch Hellboy, and I think he knows he's got the pace in him to catch him, so we'll see what happens between these two. But Max absolutely storming on them superstars. We've seen some great defending, some good overtakes from Max, but can he catch up to Barry? And Max actually sets fastest up the race, so fair play to Max. He's actually showing some good pace on them superstars, which is what is needed. So let's go back to Lickle now. 1.5 the gap. Lickle knows this is for the race win. He will be fighting Hellboy hard, but if I know Hellboy, he'll be defending just as hard to keep this race win. I do believe it will be his first of FF1, so it'll be good to see the league going to get a race win. But Lickle will do everything in his power to spoil that party and pick up a race win for himself. As Louis just goes off into the distance, he knows now that the lowest he can finish, I think he'll be finishing 4th. So Barry will actually move up to 3rd if he can keep Max behind. But Max also has a 2-place penalty, so if he gets up to 4th, Max will be put down to 6th, sorry. As Louis sets past that on the soft tyres. And Lickle is actually catching Hellboy now. So this is effectively for the race win between Lickle and Hellboy. As I missed it, but Dougie has made an overtake on Memo. So then mediums, not really showing some good pace for Memo, and Dougie setting the fast after the race. I told you he was going to go supers. It's now 4 seconds to Mohammed. Can Dougie close that gap to our championship leader? We'll soon find out in the next coming laps, but the gap between Barry and Max is coming down, and Lickle's almost within DRS of Hellboy. So Lickle knows this, again, this is for the race win. But they've both got the same amount of fuel left, so we could see a very, very interesting battle between these two in the last coming laps. As we know, Hellboy does defend very hard at times. So, I mean, these two have had action on track so many times. So they're both going to hold a race, so let's hope they can keep it clean, as Lickle will have DRS and Max as well. Now only 4 tenths behind Barry. Can Max make the move? Look how late he's braking on them supersofts. Amazing braking from Max today. He's right behind him now. As they come up the hill, Max knows he's got to move. Barry will try and go defensive, but he can't. Max is on his inside. This is a very good move from Max. Down into turn 1. Barry knows, and he's sort of trying to come back at him here, but just can't get squeezed off a little bit. I don't blame Max for that. I feel like he had to move done when he went down the inside. So again, we're seeing some good overtakes from Max and very good defending as Dougie picks up a 3-second penalty. But now we move to the fight for effectively the race win between Lickle and Hellboy. I'm staying on board for this because I do not want to miss any action that does happen. As we know, these two have had history on previous league and tracks together, so let's see what happens. As they finish the 3rd sector, Lickle getting quite squirmy there. Let's see if he's got the straight line speed on Hellboy, using the curb on exit to get that little bit extra traction, and it looks like it's actually worked. So let's see, can that Lickle make the move on Hellboy? He's got DRS, he's closing, but I don't think he's got the straight line speed to. Let's see, as we've now got 10 viewers, so welcome to those who have joined the stream. This is effectively for the race win, as Louis has got, I do believe it is a 3-place penalty, so he'll be dropped down to 4th if he does finish in first place. So yeah, so the main fight is between Hellboy and Lickle, and Lickle looks like he's much quicker in the 2nd sector, but in the 3rd and 1st, Hellboy just has a straight line speed to keep him behind, and Bugatti is now here. So hello Bugatti, welcome to the stream, welcome to the battle for effectively the race win between Hellboy and Lickle. I'm staying with this battle. I mean, it's the closest battle we got, and these two have had history on many tracks in many other leagues. So let's see what Little can do. Actually, again, like Max, braking very late in comparison to the car ahead. So Little now, he is as close as he's ever been. But Hellboy, look at the straight line speed, getting away from him. But with the DRS, will Little go for a dive bomb into turn 1? He's closing. He's looking, I do apologise, I was sort of trying to burp there, but he just ain't close enough. And actually, Hellboy running very, very low wings in comparison to Little. So Little will start to get frustrated over that. He knows he's got the pace to get past, but just won't be able to. So we are still going to stick with his battle. Yeah, that's why I'm staying with them, Big A, because they will crash, and when they crash I'm going to laugh. As Max gets another penalty, so now he's moved up into 4th place. So Max doing a very solid job here. I think this is his best performance so far. So it's good to see Max and, you know, even Hellboy and Little fight for the win. Also, I know Louis stormed off into distance, which is, you know, fair play. But with them free place grid penalty, he won't be able to do anything about who wins this race. But maybe between these two, who do we think will win the race? Put it in the chat. I reckon Little. I feel like he's had the pace all race, and Hellboy he's as close as he's ever been. Will he go for a move? I feel like he's going to go for a move into turn 1, down the inside goes Little, blocks into the lead, but Hellboy defending very well there, gave Little just enough space, and Hellboy able to keep their position. So Little will now start to get frustrated. We saw this with Max of all people, and Max is actually retired. Looks like he's binned it coming into turn 1. That's a very unusual place to bin it, so that's unfortunate for Max. That will move Dougie up into 6th place, but I'm going to stick with this battle because these two are side by side, still side by side. But looks like Hellboy's going to have the inside line. He does, but Little trying to swoop round, but just can't. So Hellboy defending very well. So you saw Max defend all race. If Max didn't retire, I'd say he was definitely a contender for driver of today. But whoever wins this race between Little or Hellboy, in my opinion, does get it. But Little goes down the inside. Hellboy actually gives him more than enough space. Little could have got the move done there. I feel like Hellboy was sort of too kind there, which isn't, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing by any means, but oh, Hellboy gets squirmy, but as does Little. So Hellboy feeling the pressure now from Little. Let's see what Little can do. Put it in Rich, lad. Come on. He's still in standard. I would have put it in Rich. Hellboy looks like he's got superior straight line speed to Little, as Little just can't do nothing into turn 1. Hellboy on the other hand looks like just running a very solid race at the minute, but getting very squirmy. We'll go back to Little. He's going to have the run. He's looking to go to the inside of Hellboy. Hellboy knows Little will have the better run. Let's see. Hellboy goes around the outside. They touch. Hellboy goes wide, and Little goes through. So Little effectively takes the lead of the race. Brilliant move from Little there. Hellboy just going wide, but as we know, Hellboy's got a very good straight line speed, so expect Hellboy to be right back behind Little, but he's still right behind him, so fair play to him. Little isn't trying to win. I don't know what he's... Well, Saddles, Louis has a penalty which will demote him to 4th, so this is effectively for the race win. So he can't really try and hold him up, but as we see Hellboy getting squirmy again. Let's see what Hellboy's straight line speed is like and see whether Hellboy puts it in Rich. I mean, I would. No? Still standard, yeah? Okay. Put it in Rich, Hellboy. But yeah, you can see Hellboy's straight line speed there, just a little better than others, but actually goes wide. But actually might help him on exit. But yeah, Little's now starting to put away from Hellboy. So yeah, I'm actually going to check penalties quickly because I don't actually know who's got more. So Little has 2 penalties. Hellboy has 2 penalties as well. So they're both tied for penalties as well. So this will be settled on track. But Hellboy just looking like he's not got the pace to keep Little. He may be trying to save a little bit of fuel behind him. You know, stay within DRS. And then when he's got enough fuel, go on attack, obviously. But Little has got weight. Oh no, he hasn't. He's actually got the same amount of fuel as Hellboy, I do believe. Yeah, he has. So Hellboy, if he can get this right, he might. He does. So Hellboy does nail it this time. Let's see what Hellboy straight down speed is like compared to Little Blocks. So we've got Dougie on Mohammed, sort of missed his gap, come down, but his gap has flown down since Dougie's fitted on them set of supers. What can Dougie do? He ain't going to do nothing because he knows Mohammed is the championship leader, and obviously Dougie knows this is his debut race. If he can get past Mohammed, then it will be a very good achievement for him. You know, rather than taking the championship leader on track, Dougie's in the slipstream now, going to go round the outside. If he manages to make this stick, it will be a very good move. Round the outside goes Dougie, but it looks like he's been sold out to dry there by Mohammed. So Dougie will have one last chance to overtake Mohammed. No doubt he'll take it, as will Hellboy. Hellboy now staying with Lickle now, so Hellboy proper putting on the pressure now to Lickle. If Hellboy can nail this, he'll be very close behind Lickle, and he does. So Hellboy now, can he catch Lickle down? I think for this lap, just try and catch, just, you know, don't put it in rich, lad. I don't think he's in rich. I think that's why they're not catching each other. But Louis starts the last lap, and you've got to say it's been a pretty dominant performance from this guy. But again, he's got that penalty which will put him down to 4th, I do believe. So it's unfortunate for him, but you get what you deserve, to be honest. It's Hellboy now catching Nickel in DRS. Let's go to Dougie down the outside, down the inside of Mohammed, and looks like he's actually made it stick. But oh, Dougie gets a bit squirmy. There goes Mohammed. Mohammed manages to catch the car superbly, it must be said. So fair play to Mohammed there. I feel like that was a race incident. Obviously Dougie got the move done, and Mohammed was, you know, not there, but just clipped his rear and manages to catch the car. But we go to this man as he comes down, start finish straight. Louis will win this race, but he won't, because he got a 3rd place pen after the race. So congrats to Louis for putting on such a dominant show. As we come to these two, this is for the race win. Can Hellboy make the move? I don't think he's too far back, so Lickle is effectively weaving. He knows he's won this race, so Lickle will come across the line to win here at Brazil, and Hellboy will take 3rd place, which is very well deserved from these two. Barry will take a very deserved 4th place, but with Louis' penalty that will put him up to 3rd. So Barry getting a podium here, so very well played from Barry, and Dougie getting 5th place on his debut race is a very, very good achievement from him. Dougie comes home in 5th. Mohammed will come home in 6th place, and Memo rounding out the top 7. So we only have 7 finishes out of 11 races. So I'm fortunate to see such a poor turnout, but no doubt next week we will see a better turnout, as Memo not really been in the race at all, comes across the line. And I've got to say, driver of the day, in my opinion, well, I know Louis dominated by it with that penalty. I'm gonna have to give it to Lickle. Made a very good overtake on Hellboy for the lead and just kept it. Team of the day, Toro Rosso maybe. You know, both drivers on the podium, obviously with the penalties. But wait, how did Lickle finish ahead of Hellboy? Wait, let me have a look at this. So, warning, stop go. Did he get a stop go at this? No, he didn't. So he got a stop go when he pitted again. But that's a 10-second penalty. He didn't pit again, did he, after lap 24? He didn't. So Hellboy will win, because Lickle failed to do the stop go that he got the second, well, when he pitted for the second set of softs. So with a 10-second penalty added onto his time, where does that put everyone else? Like, Barry might even get second here. Oh no, I don't think he will. So Lickle will only lose 1 position, and that's to Hellboy. So Hellboy is effectively the race winner here. So I think Dougie will get Barry as well. So I think Barry got a second stop go that he didn't take as well. Stop go, yeah, he did. So Lickle and Barry taking stop goes that they didn't do. That is a 10-second penalty. So effectively Hellboy wins the race. So congrats to Hellboy Hellboy, wow, what an interesting race. I guess we'll see what happens. So yeah, so with Edward getting that stop go that second time round, that's cost him a race win. So Hellboy is our race winner. So congrats to Hellboy. Driver of the day then goes to Hellboy. You know, keeping it clean in the race, not getting any stop goes. So fair play to our league owner, Hellboy, who wins this race. Again, if you've watched this race and you want to join, message this man here, Hellboy at 55100 on PS4. He will no doubt get you up to speed and tell you what cars are currently free. But this has been Brazil. I've been Cliffy, your commentator, and I've got to say that's been one of the most exciting races to commentate on in this league. So thank you to those that did drop by and watch and comment. Yeah, I guess we'll see you next week. I don't know the track because the canon's a bit messed up, like random. So I guess we'll see you next week. But thank you guys for watching, and see you next week. Goodbye.